Good morning. I am Chris Steyerwalt, and here are your buzzcuts from Fox News First. Off the top, Rubio makes his case for Obamacare bailout block. Stay thirsty, my friends. Marco Rubio, talking to House panel today, told them, come on, guys, get with the program. Go with a bailout plan. House Republicans are deciding whether or not to do a largely symbolic move on telling the president to go ahead and approve an oil pipeline from Canada he's probably going to approve anyway in exchange for raising the federal borrowing limit, or the slightly riskier, more enticing Marco Rubio plan that would call for a blockade of bailouts that, if enacted, would essentially gut Obamacare. So it's kind of a big deal. Number two, CB. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jason Furman said some stuff yesterday at the White House briefing. Well, basically, they threw rotten tomatoes at him from the press corps, saying that if people quit working because it's more lucrative to be enrolled in Obamacare instead of working full time, they're just looking at other opportunities. It's just choices that people are making. And hearing today in front of the House Budget Committee further elaborates on the Congressional Budget Office's very damning report. The uh-ohs in this report, reports from this agency previously touted by the administration about how good Obamacare is. Number three, IRS boss will get more than a smidgen of heat. So John Koskinen is the boss man at the IRS. He is on the Hill today testifying. They don't like the IRS. Republicans in the House don't like the IRS a lot, and they were probably going to holler at him. One of the things that they're going to holler at him about is the fact that the President of the United States has already said there's no corruption at the IRS, despite the targeting of conservative groups. Going to be ugly. Number four, Pryor goes ugly early with Medi-scare ads. Now, Democrats run Medi-scare. That works for them. They say that Republicans want to take old people's stuff away from them. But usually you see that in October. If you want to know how things are going for red state Democrats this year, Mark Pryor is already spending money months before the primary election, even, against his likely Republican opponent, Tom Cotton, saying that Tom Cotton wants old people to not have health insurance. This is telling. And last, but definitely not least, livin' la vida Putin. Journalists from around the world are descending on Sochi, Russia, before the start of the Winter Olympics, the Winter Olympiad, as I like to say, on Thursday night. But globe-trotting journos are not finding Russian hospitality quite up to their standards. The Washington Post shares some of their discoveries. Like this, BBC reporter Kevin Bishop tweeted about his hotel having mixed amenities. The floor wasn't finished, yes, but it does have a super creepy picture of Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Chicago Tribune's Stacey St. Clair was first alarmed. Quote, my hotel has no water. If restored, the front desk says, do not use on your face because it contains something very dangerous. But she soon took a more optimistic tone, tweeting, on the bright side, I just washed my face with Evian like I'm a Kardashian or something. Those are your buzzcuts from Fox News First. You'd have it all already if you were a subscriber. It's so easy. Just give us your email address. Go to foxnewspolitics.com, sign up, they're in. But we're going to do it all right now because it's Power Play.
The risk of a bailout has always been high. As many of us predicted, these exchanges have not attracted enough young and healthy people to sign up. But the chances of the bailout have increased significantly in the last few months.
That was Marco Rubio. He's a senator from Florida. He was testifying in front of the House Oversight and Government Reform full committee hearing that they styled Obamacare. Why the need for an insurance company bailout? Why? Well, here's why. Because that's part of the plan, guys. This is Power Play. And the plan is what? The plan is you put new regulations on the insurance industry about who they have to cover. Then when they lose money, you give them some so that things can even out. And that's always been the plan in the very long term on the health law, is that given enough time, things will work itself out. Now, some billions of liquid cash from taxpayers will help ease that transition. Rubio says, pick that as your place to fight. Bob Cusack knows Here's things Bob Cusack knows. Bob Cusack knows that he is the managing editor of The Hill. He also knows that The Hill is excellent, and we steal from it just so lavishly. I'm like I'm going through there like gleaning in a wheat field. I'm just
that's what we're there for.
We're harvesting deep, but we're providing links and encouragement. And also, Bob knows that there's no way on earth that the Democratic Senate would ever allow this bill to advance, and if because Harry Reid was kidnapped by lemurs or something, and somehow this legislation made it through the Senate, that the president would ever sign it.
Right, absolutely correct. And that's why Republicans can win some political points. They're doing so today. Marco Rubio, who took some hits in 2013. But this is not going to go anywhere.
But why won't they? For the predicate, why wouldn't they?
Because they were hammered in the government shutdown when they tried to...
No. On the bailout. Why would they... Everybody hates bailout, and insurance companies aren't popular. So explain for the Internet why the president would veto that.
Well, because if you pass this bill, you're basically gutting ObamaCare. The insurance companies, remember, they were the villains of the health care debate. But this basically is a safety net for them in Obamacare. And the Democrats have a very long answer of why this is a bad bill. And the Republicans, just like on the CBO report, Democrats have a long answer. Well, wait a minute, it's not 2.5 million jobs. Right. It's complicated.
Right.
And the Republicans have a short answer, and of course, if you're explaining, you're losing. So these are two big issues for the Republicans. And they want all this year to be about Obamacare and the president and his low approval ratings. They don't want to have any kind of, and that's why John Boehner's saying, we don't have the leverage. We're not going to really fight this fight.
There's a shorter take. If you took the bailout out, the law would fail.
Correct.
You can't have the law without the bailout. It is...
The insurance companies would not participate.
Because the insurance companies would say, hey, guess what? If there's no free money,
right.
Well, as a poet once said, Nelson from The Simpsons, smell you later.
Yeah, that's right.
There'd be no chance that they would stick around because they would just get pasted. So they would leave and the law would start to unravel. That's why the president would veto it. That's why the Senate won't pass it.
Right. Do you think the House will pass it?
Well, that's why you're here, Bob. That's why you're here.
I think they might if they can get the votes, because most, but not all, Democrats would vote no. This is a tough vote for some Democrats.
Well, it sounds like what the Speaker of the House is saying is, I don't care what you yahoos want to do, as long as more than 218 of you agree on it.
Yes.
You pick whatever you want. You can make the debt limit conditional on making Bob Cusack Emperor of the United States. It doesn't matter.
As long as you got the votes.
As long as you have 218 votes, and I don't want to hear